Hi boys and girls, Miss Grace here. So this week in math, we are talking about measuring length using customary and metric units of measure. So I'm just going to go through a few pages of things that I want to go over with you guys. On this cover page here, there's some different measuring tools. Tools is it's something that you use to measure. So this is a tape measure that you may see around the house. And this is also a tape measure, but it's a soft one. A lot of times you'll see that with measuring around an object, like say something that's not flat, like this is hard and flat. And then here is a meter stick, and there's also yardsticks. Then here is a big kind of ruler in the ground measuring how tall someone is, and it's measuring how many feet tall. And this is a ruler. And a standard ruler that we use has one side is inches and one side is centimeters. Just keep that in mind. All right, in this next slide, it's customary unit of measure. And we're going to talk about 3 inches. I have inch is 1 inch. Inches is more than 1, plural. And then this is the abbreviation for inch. So 1 inch is that much on a ruler, and it starts at the first dash and then over to the 1 is 1 inch. It says there are 12 inches on a ruler. Then we have a foot, plural is feet, and the abbreviation is FT, and 1 foot is 1 whole ruler. So 1 foot is 12 inches, and then the abbreviation 1 FT equals 12 in, and then 1 foot is 1 ruler. Then this last one here is a yard, 1 yard, yards, and then the abbreviation YD. 1 yard, notice, is 3 rulers, so that's 3 feet. 1 yard equals 3 feet. 3 feet is 36 inches, so then here I have 1 yard equals 36 inches, and then here 1 yard equals 3 rulers, or a yardstick. So these are the customary units of measure. On the next page, this is just those same rulers, just bigger so that you can see it. This is the inch side. So it starts at 0. So if you're measuring something, you want to make sure, we're going to talk about that in a minute, you line it up at the 0, not at the end of the ruler, because it doesn't actually start there. It starts at the 0. So you'll line the object up at the 0, and it goes all the way to 12. So this is the inch side. So 1 inch would be from here, whoops, 1 inch is from the 0 to the 1. Even if it's like a little bit here, it's still closer to 1 inch. But if it's all the way getting over here, then we're getting closer to 2 inches. So this is our customary. Then I have on this page measuring objects in the real world. So we have the inches, the feet, and the yards. So I just put some objects that you would measure, like a pencil, you would want to measure in inches, a phone, paper, a crayon, or a scissor. So these are some kind of maybe classroom objects. Then the feet, remember, that is 1 whole ruler. So a larger object like a bed, a table, the door, poster, couch. People, we measure people in feet. I'm about 5 feet tall, 5 feet and about 4 inches. And then yards over here. Yards are, if we can remember, 3 feet, which is 3 rulers. So you want to measure something big in yards, maybe a tree, or the bedroom wall, the whole length of the wall, or your living room wall. Now we jump to metric unit of measure. And this is on the ruler, it's on the other side where the the measurement seems smaller. These are centimeters. So we have centimeter, centimeters, and the abbreviation is cm. So 1 centimeter is much smaller than 1 inch. See how it goes from the 0 to the 1 is 1 centimeter. And then the larger measurement, the larger unit, the larger one here is meter, meters, and the abbreviation is m. This is a picture of a meter stick. There are 100 meters on a meter stick. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters in the meter stick. Here's a picture of that same ruler, and on the other side are the centimeters. So you'd start here at the 0 and then measure something. So if it went to here, it'd be 5. If it went to here, it'd be 6 because it's even almost to the 6. So it start at the 0. If you start over here on the edge, it's missing like a whole centimeter, so your measurement would be off. Measuring objects in the real world with the metric system. Here's my chart with centimeters on this side and meters on this side. So remember, those centimeters are really small. It's kind of like if you hold your hand up in front of you. It's like the width of your pinky almost. So a paper clip would be good to measure in centimeters. A pencil, glue, scissors, a cup. So small items like we said for inch, but even smaller items you could do, like an eraser. And then over here in meters, those are those big things again. 100 centimeters is a meter stick, and it's about the same size as a yardstick. A meter stick and a yardstick are very, very close in measurements. So a bed again, the couch, maybe a stop sign from the ground up, a window in the house. All right, on this slide, I'll talk about important tips. So, important tips to remember is to check to make sure you're on the correct side of the ruler. If you're measuring in inches, you want to make sure you're on the inch side. If you are measuring in centimeters, you want to make sure you're on the centimeter side. So you just turn the ruler around to pick the side. And then it says put the ruler under the object to measure it. You want to keep the ruler straight and turn the object. So if I have a marker in front of me, instead of trying to make my ruler go sideways to measure, you want to keep your ruler in front of you and put the marker on top of it to measure it. And the last tip, the one I said a few times, always start at the 0 on the ruler, not at the end of the ruler. All right, so let's get measuring. I have a few objects here to measure using this ruler. I said I would take the object and put it at the 0. Remember, we don't want to go all the way to the end because then we're not going to get an accurate measurement. We want to make sure it's at the 0. So I would actually want to put the object down and then move my ruler, but for purposes on the computer, it's going to be easy to move the object. So I have it lined up here at the 0, and it goes to here. So then we have to decide which inch is it closest to, 1 inch or 2 inches. I see that it's closest to 2 inches. So this key is about 2 inches long. Then I have this tape dispenser. Oh, I think I could get a little bit more closer to the 0 for sure. Looks pretty good here. I'm going to make sure my end is lined up with that end at the 0. And then I look over here, and it doesn't end here. So don't get tricked. The object actually ends here. Whoops. And that is closest to 4 inches. So I would say that this tape dispenser is 4 inches long. And my last object here is a Band-Aid. Remember, I want to get it as close to that 0 line as I can. And look at this one. Starts here at the 0 and goes right to the 2 inches line. So that Band-Aid is 2 inches long. And if I were writing that, I would write 2 inches, or I could write 2 in like that. You always want to have the unit of measurement when you write the object. Now on this ruler, notice it is flipped and it's on the centimeter side up here. So I'm going to measure some objects in centimeters. So here's a soda can. Remember, the 0. I want to make sure it's at the 0, not at the end of the ruler, but at the 0. So my soda can here is lined up at the 0, and it goes to the 9. So that is 9 centimeters long. I would label that item 9 centimeters long. So there's my can. It's 9 centimeters long. I should get that out of the way a little bit more. Now let's do this little piece of candy. So once again, line it up at the 0. Here it is at the 0. Is it? I see this end is kind of not at the 0. I want to make sure the end of the candy, there we go, the wrapper, not the blue part. The wrapper's at the 0. Ooh, and that goes to here. So I'd say it's almost right on the 3.5, but I would say that is closer to 4. So I would label that one 4 centimeters. And then the swatch here. Same thing, I'm going to put it at the 0. And it goes to, so it starts at the 0, and it goes all the way to 13 centimeters. So this watch is 13 centimeters long. So I label that 13 centimeters. I challenge you to find a ruler if you have one in your house and try to measure some objects in your house and see how long they are. Happy measuring, and I hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.